Hi, I'm Laurie Dobson. Today is January 30th, 2021. And today I thought I would talk about things that are my favorite things. That's sort of a different topic than that I've covered before. But you got to be a little flexible when you do videos. You got to think about, what's important to you every day. And it's today I was just thinking about the freedoms that I enjoy, that I love. And it's kind of a bittersweet topic because a lot of the things that I love feels actually lost to me. And I don't know if it's forever, for a short period of time, but I don't see a plan for things to get restored anytime soon. That whole flattening of the curve that we were willing to do, I think it succeeded on such a extreme level of performance that the guys in charge of that kind of power trip on us decide to go for it and make it, permanent. Are they going to try? Well, anyway, so what can we do? How do we get our power back on the real plane? I know that there are a lot of videos out there where they talk about, you can free yourself in your mind, and you can go into ideas about different dimensions, and that we're caught up in this one, and you can kind of, wind your way into your head to get to where you can find a new age kind of a freedom inside yourself, or a Buddhist place, and mind control, mind over matter, and I think to a certain extent, you can free yourself there by lifting yourself out of the morass of what's going on every day. But we live here, and how do we deal with things here, and how do we get a sense of ourselves back, and work to make that happen. So one of my favorite things is art. I love that picture. We have it over our television. and outside, it's I'm not going out and hanging out there today talking to you, but it is a -2 degrees. But I'll take a walk. And that'll work. But the thing I really want to focus on here is the favorite things that I enjoy with other people, doing things with people that make me feel like a human being, and make me feel, just glad to be in a community of others. One of those is singing, and so I'll cover a couple of things that I really love to do with other folks. And Friday night we had a event on the island here, a small event. Just a couple of people. We got together and did some karaoke, got some food together, did a potluck, and got together and just played some karaoke, and it was the best time. We all tried songs. We got to a certain comfort level, and we all tried different songs that hadn't been ones we. I've done this a few other times with these guys, but it gets to just where the basic thing is we just get to laugh and hang out, and it's comfortable and it's warm, and which warm is a nice big deal, and it's not just shivering in your own house, with the fire. It's a great thing to have to support on island, get together, be warm, be cozy, have fun, laugh. Laughing is huge. And seeing faces smiling, and singing, like performing, actually not just, just for fun, of course, it's all for fun, but to shrug off all of the things that feel like impositions on our freedom, the chains on our freedom, and to make the use of the body that we were born with to enjoy while we're here for such a short time, We don't come in with all that power. We don't come in, maybe some people are born billionaires, but, we're pretty much born in our skins, There's no way they figured out easily how to take that away from us. We're still, you can take away the word mother, but I'm sorry, but I'm going to be a mother till the day I die. You can take the term away. It doesn't change the fact that happened to me, that I did that, 9 months, 8 in my son's case, but, hanging out with me there, uninterrupted connection, communication of the most, personal kind, and the devotion of being there, and men do this, when the baby's born, just a complete, and before connecting, through the wall. connection. Connection with other humans is such a joy, such a joy. And it's such a pain when we don't have it, because our hearts grow to be, able to join with other people on a regular basis, and it's a lovely thing. So that's one of my favorite things, my favorite freedoms. And music is the great liberator too. People do it they sang on chain gangs, right? Spirituals and I think, times of oppression. Sailors sailing shanties, sea shanties, and you're away at sea, and the great deprivation of being able to not being able to get on land, but doing all those chores, jobs, just making the time pass together. And church, the great community building, connection building blessing of people getting together just to find a way to forgive and forget and move on. And that's what we do as humans. We have cultivated civilization to the point where we know how to work through problems. Another great freedom that I just love is to get together with people who make me feel good, and businesses that make me feel good and happy. As a woman, to get your hair done is a great privilege. It's a great joy to get, I had gray hair a couple years ago, and short gray hair, and I can grow it out, and it can look really bad if I don't take care of it. But I have a woman, a lady that does my hair, who runs a salon, and she's been fighting in the trenches to keep her salon open. Trying to get product when it's hard to get product, trying to get people to be there, to come in and take care of everybody that has special needs, older people that have real needs. She works on Saturdays to bring them in. She does everything to make a person feel, like they can come and be there. And she's working. I don't know how she manages to do it. It's like she's just like this saint, really. There are saints out there. She's always got a cheerful, presence. She's always asks about things and lets me talk if I want to talk. She was closed down for a while, but was able to get back up again. I know so many people consider the businesses that are not considered essential services are no longer there. But what's more essential than, she said she had a woman come in whose husband had died the day before, and she just came in to get a hug. I saw that happen in a restaurant. Up in upstate Maine, Maine's already got very few cases, and down east is even fewer. And I don't know whether that's just because, they have enough wealthy people around here that don't want to be discomfited, and they have special rules that apply, and they can make the numbers, mess up the numbers to make people believe that they aren't bad. I don't know who's in control of these numbers. I don't know if they comport to any science at all. When they absolutely lie to us about masks and effectiveness of testing, and Biden was talking about nonstop testing, and now we find out testing's, false positive. The CDC, the WHO, they all say it. So it's no longer the domain of us conspiracy theorists. It's actually something they have to admit to. There's too many scientists, too many doctors. It's too compelling, so they can't lie about it the same way. So I'm glad about that. So, here I am in Maine, and it's relatively open. But there are businesses that are closed, for sure, and have suffered, for sure, and are closed down for a couple of months, but I don't know if they're going to reopen in the spring. It all depends on these unseen people who want to continue to roll out their vaccines. Right now they're making money because so many people are taking their vaccines that they seem, I guess, happy for a while. Temporarily, they've got, this new president whose lighthouse is dark. There's the new president, and he's not at home. The White House is dark, and they're building a huge wall around our capital, the people's capital, the one that Lincoln, when he was, in the rotunda, his body when he had died, and people filtered by for days. How many thousands and thousands of people saw him, but were reminded that that Capitol was their building, built with their money, by slaves too. That's kind of the sad thing. One of the many sad things. So anyway, rectification is occurring. We like to think change is happening, or was that just lip service to get people elected so that they could turn around and how many executive orders were signed by Biden on the first day? I think 8 all through Trump's term, and now on the first day, was it 13 executive orders that Biden signed without the benefit of having the people's representatives, so-called congressional members, having any say. It's all just written up by, you can only imagine the people that paid to have their little directives on the president's desk signed by him. Special powers, executive powers. It's we're all kind of at their, serve at their pleasure, don't we? We're all kind of just subjects now. So those are terrible things, but back to my favorite things. Those aren't my favorite things. And there's certain things I'm just never going to accept, because I like my favorite things. My number one favorite thing is freedom. My number one favorite thing. And living on an island, it's a precious thing. You realize, because you don't have the freedom to just get up and go in your car and drive like I used to have all my life. Well, I've lived on a boat for a couple of years back, and but it's a chosen thing. I've chosen to live on an island. So I know that if I want to go off and do something, I have to pay the ferry fee, or we have to get our boat in the water and go. And, it takes gas, no big deal. But it takes a certain amount of working out. It's not easy to get to. We have a store on the island, which is wonderful. Oh my God. So we're able to get to places, but it takes work and planning and et cetera, et cetera. So you can't assume. And we also have a post office, and we have a church that's not very busy right now, and a Ladies' Aid. We do projects there. The Cranberry House, which is a wonderful place for all kinds of events and things. It's open year-round. Do movies there. We have a library, which is open all year round. These are incredible things. Fire and rescue, that's another matter. And we have a town office on the other island, which is not as accessible, and certainly it's a different kind of a situation. It's not always very fair out here, but we still have a working township, and a state that works to an extent. But it is the wealthy interests dominate everywhere. The planning board that I serve on, wealthy interests definitely have an influence. There are so many things that a person can work on to make this world better everywhere you look. But the things I want to do are take care of my favorite things. My favorite things of all, of course, as I go back to being a mom and my kids and my mother and my family, my family, my immediate family, and my sisters and their families, my kids and their families and their animals and their lives and their friends. I want everybody to flourish and prosper. And it breaks my heart every day that they are suffering to the extent that they are. But I think about the favorite things in life, and they're not that complicated. They're simple things. If people can just have the simple things and have some assurance and security, have their lives, have their lives without the threat of intimidation or subjugation, then that's we can be happy. Would I like to be a grandmother? Yes, very much so. Would I like an economy that worked for everybody? I believed that getting the economy back, getting the culture back, could encourage, freedoms that we haven't experienced yet in life. I mean, not just the ones we used to have, but ones we haven't had yet. I will say, it's fair to say, having the freedom of this device is a great blessing. But the fact that it is constantly monitoring me, and it knows what I am interested in because they're taking notes. You can tell all the time. There's something pops up because they heard a word that I said. They're listening. The listening part of this. It's not fun. I try to minimize that, but it's there. So I have a feeling like little may not be Big Brother watching me, but little brother is constantly tagging along, and I bring our little sister, I bring her along with this thing. It's that's not one of my favorite things, but there's things we can do to minimize that too. It's not that there aren't things that we can do to get by and to normalize. The danger of that is this one of the dangers of that though is accommodation. And the word Stockholm Syndrome, the term is from a situation where it was shown that people can accommodate themselves to being to the point where the people that enslave them, that keep them subjugated, that they are aligned with their thinking. So people can that have been imprisoned by other people, can tend to see, because they're in that loop with that person, they think in a world through that person's eyes. So they can't have their own life. So vicariously, they're living the life through the other person, to the point where they argue for the benefit of that other person and that other person's welfare over their own. They diminish their own welfare to the extent that the other person's the one that matters and not themselves. And so their thinking comports to that. They think in terms of benefiting the other, the one that has the power, not themselves, to get to a point of equality or freedom. That can't ever be one of your favorite things, is my point. You can't let your life diminish to the point where you're thinking along the terms of what benefits others, to the point where that's what amuses you, that's what entertains you, that's what brings you joy, and that becomes your favorite thing. I was listening to Saturday Night Live from last night, and this morning I heard it, and I think that to an extent in the popular culture, they're trying so hard to make bad guys of the good guys, just to serve their corporate masters, on the TV, in the media, and everywhere else, that we are willing to become nobodies so they can be somebodies. Looking at the GameStop thing from the point of view of those bad Reddit people that tried to make it more fair, point of view of other entities and other, they took it, each one of them down the line, and they seem to be in a sense of Stockholm Syndrome, Saturday Night Live, arguing for the benefits and the freedoms of others. So anyway, the bottom line here for me is that my freedoms are the ones that I recognize benefit my life, that my life has a value. Individual life has a value. And as Immanuel Kant has always, shown people to respect your own individuality and your own essentialness, and that combining with others with the respect for theirs, joining with them in a sense of a spirit of joy, because you're celebrating your own spirit of value of yourself with others and their value of their self, and you're all together having fun with a group shared experience of that, making fun of others, just the whole poking at each other, letting out communication of all types, and it just a sense of freedom of that. I mean, those are the things that we need much, much more of. And so I hope your days to come ahead, you're going to find a way to do that. You're going to find a way to break free, to experience your favorite things, and have a wonderful day. That's my message. That's all I got today. Thanks, guys.